You did mention the Deontay Wilder fight, though. Is that something that you are actively pursuing right now?
We haven't engaged personally, but it's gonna be soon.
We have the heavyweight MMA superstar Cameroonian Francis Ngannou going against the heavyweight boxing superstar American with Nigerian roots, Deontay Wilder. Now, I must admit, I don't really get too excited about these crossover matchups, but this one has my attention.
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Welcome back to your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talker. We are back for another YouTube video. Banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, man. I know what time it is. Doctor's in the house, man. So check this out. Before we get to it, let's go ahead and do something together. Yeah, you guessed it. Let's smack that like button. Appreciate you. That helps us to keep going and growing. But check this out. So Francis Ngannou, he was interviewed just recently on the Ariel show, and he discussed a potential next fight. And that potential next fight being against former heavyweight American champion Deontay Wilder, man. Now, this would be a hell of a clash, man. Deontay Wilder, the Bomb Squad, going against Francis Ngannou. But a lot of people may not be interested due to the timing, and not to mention their track record, their recent track records. I don't know why I couldn't speak, my bad. Their recent track records, you know, they have not been that good. You know, of course, with Deontay Wilder, he did bounce back, you know, against Tyrell Herndon back in June this year, right? But it wasn't the great showing from Deontay Wilder. And before that, you know, he suffered 2 consecutive losses, one to Zhilei Zhang and the other one to Joseph Parker. So he hasn't really gave his fan base a reason to be galvanized or re-galvanized in order to believe that he's back to where he was at. And let's face it, right? He turns 40 this year. So the fact that he's still fighting at a high level, or even, no, not at a high level, but he's still fighting and capable of competing at a decent level, man, that's impressive in his own. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Bomb Squad. I would always be a fan. But I do think, for me personally, I do, as a fan of his, I do have a little concern about his welfare if he keeps on competing. But going against Francis Ngannou, I think that, of course, it's a dangerous matchup. You know, they say you don't play boxing, and it's a combat sport, so it's always going to be dangerous. However, Francis Ngannou doesn't have the most extensive boxing background. In fact, you know, the Cameroonian superstar Francis Ngannou, he hasn't had the best of luck when it comes to boxing either. You know, he only has 2 fights in boxing, right? And his first fight was against Tyson Fury, but some people argue that he could have won. He did drop the Gypsy King, you know, on his way to a decision loss. But, you know, the second fight is what is a little bit concerning, right? The fact that he got obliterated, destroyed, massacred by Anthony Joshua. I'm talking about, it was crazy.
This is amazing, bro. And that's why, shout out to Ngannou, man, being a man controlling his own destiny, man. I think him leaving the UFC was the best thing that he could have done for himself. Focus. Oh, shit! Oh! 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 A right hand! A right straight, right down the pipe. Oh my gosh, hit him right in the mouth. Bow! Oh, Lord! Anthony Joshua is tagging him, man. Just tagging him with a nice jab. Oh my gosh, not like this! Oh my gosh!
Not like this. Not like this.
His lip is bleeding? No, man. Come on, Ngannou. 38 seconds left in the second round. Anthony Joshua got to blitz him right now. I'd have blitzed him if I was... Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh!
Yeah, that was my reaction to it. So shout out to Francis Ngannou, though. I got to take my hats off to him because, you know, it takes a lot of cojones to get into an MMA cage and the boxing ring, you know, that square circle. So shout out to him. Now, this fight is intriguing to me because, like I said, where they're at in their careers, you could argue that if you wish it would have happened a little earlier, but this is good because the fact that Deontay Wilder's boxing skills have been slightly deteriorated and been on the decline, this gives Francis Ngannou a better chance of making it competitive. You know, he's 38 years old. Deontay Wilder's 40 years old. And this just makes it a little bit more. It's not even, of course. Deontay Wilder is a boxer. It's not even, but it puts it on a little bit more even playing field. You know, it makes it line up a little bit better, you know, than if Deontay Wilder was in his prime. So I think, circumstantially speaking, that this is as good as it's going to get from a competitive standpoint. I would still have Deontay Wilder winning, but man, don't be surprised because, like I said, Deontay Wilder's not the same. And I'm not saying that Francis Ngannou is a great boxer, but you know, he does have that power. So we'll see how it goes, man. I think this is kind of intriguing for me because I don't really care about these crossover matchups, to be honest. I don't like it, but because it's Deontay Wilder and it's Francis Ngannou, I like them both, and where they're at in their current the current position that they are in their careers, I think this will bring a lot of fans over to see who's the bigger puncher at the very least, and who could take the best punch and who could give the best punch, you know. And I think a lot of us will lean towards Deontay Wilder, but don't get it twisted. There'll be a lot of people that think Francis Ngannou can pull it off, you know, and I don't think it'll be impossible. But yeah, so let's see how it goes, man. If that's the case for Deontay Wilder, he has some pretty big fights lined up. You know, he's had conversations about potentially fighting AJ, of course, a long overdue battle, and then you had the conversations with potentially fighting. I heard even Jake Paul being whispered, you know. Of course, Jake Paul has other guys that he's more concerned about. That'd be Canelo, Gervonta Tank Davies, and as of late, Anthony Joshua. But I have heard rumblings of Deontay Wilder as well. And then, of course, I heard Deontay Wilder potentially mixing it up with Francis Ngannou, AJ, and and Alexander Usyk. You know, I dropped a video on that a couple weeks ago, man, so y'all go check that out. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I would be interested. This would probably pique my interest the most when it comes to a MMA versus a boxer fight. But I would pick Deontay Wilder. And I would say this too, you know, listen closely to what Ngannou said. He said he has not spoken directly or personally with Deontay Wilder, but this is something that they have both discussed. Even with Deontay Wilder saying, I remember in the recent past on a similar interview, he was asked about fighting Ngannou, and he said that, hey, not only would I fight Ngannou in the boxing ring, I'll also be interested in fighting him in the MMA cage as well. So shout out to both of the warriors, man. They seem like their game, and we already know that they are. So yeah, I'd be interested, man. Y'all let me know, would y'all be interested in that, or do you think it was something that's just a pipe dream, it'll never happen? Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Don't forget to smack that like button, but most importantly, remember, with God we can do anything. Without God we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.